later, but this is a luncheon in honour of a man by the name of Clark Shields. The pavilion is named after Clark. His photo is on the wall as you enter, on the right-hand side. There's a history book here which you're welcome to buy, which has details of Clark if you want to read a bit more. But Colin or Sean a bit later on will talk about him as well. So the main purpose of this lunch, apart from honouring Clark, is to help one of our up-and-coming junior players. There's a little bit of money that Clark has left for Eden to manage, and every year they help one of our up-and-coming players. So we'll talk a little bit about him later as well. Now, first up, so in a few minutes, Sean Wellman will be talking. And he can talk about who he is and what he does for those that don't know. But I can say he's our senior assistant coach. He has come to us through some good relationships. He is providing his time at no charge, which we greatly appreciate. He has a mortgage or finance business, so if you have any finance needs, please do speak to him. And he hasn't asked me to say that, but I have referred a number of people to him, and it's all been fantastic. So definitely chat with him about that as well. Before that, we will have Tanya Lacy. Tanya is with an organisation called Intercept. This is their banner up here. Intercept specialise in leadership training, among other things. They, for the last 6 or 9 months, have been helping us develop our leadership group, develop our ethos, our code, which you might see up on the wall, near the sponsor wall. So develop the sorts of processes and systems that are going to help our club progress and become stronger and more organised, etc. So Tanya's going to come up just for 5 minutes now. Thanks, Tanya.
Hi everybody, and thank you for allowing me the space on such a special day in the calendar. Thank you, Alistair. I just thought I'd spend 5 minutes just sharing a little bit about how we're supporting the club. So Intercept Experience has been doing leadership work for about 18 years, and the two things that we work on, firstly we do a lot of deep dive work one-on-one with the leaders. And the second thing that we do is we focus on getting team alignment so that the team can be standing shoulder to shoulder. And that's the context that we've been invited in, very privileged position to help and support this environment. So there are 3 objectives that we're really working on with Alistair and the group. The first one is at an individual level. We really want to work on developing strong leadership. And obviously there's a lot of natural leadership talent that exists in the environment. But how do you unlock that? And how do you get individual leaders to really own their own power and own their own who they are and their own natural leadership qualities? So we work on a one-on-one level. The second one is the shoulder-to-shoulder that I mentioned before. And the third is the impact into the community. And obviously this is a very community-focused club with a very strong community heart, and it's a privilege for us to make sure that what we're doing underpins that community spirit. If I was sitting with you having a cup of coffee and you said to me, Tanya, what are you doing at the club? I would say, let's grab a serviette and I'll draw for you a star. And I would draw a 5-point star. And on that 5-point star, what I would do is at the top of the star I'd write the word you. And I would say, what we're going to do is talk about you and how you're showing up. And in our Intercept leadership model, we talk about a 5-star system, I guess. And it starts with the individual. Now, I know that last week, unfortunately, we had a loss. And I think you can imagine in life, sometimes we have to take a loss. How does that affect us at a self-concept level? So in the 5-star leadership model, what we're talking about with the leaders is what are their strategies that they put in place at a personal level to build their self-confidence, to build their self-concept, so that they feel resilient and they can do a bounce back. one of the first areas that we work on, and that's what we're doing here at the club through the space that Alistair's allowing us to support in. The second thing is what we call the S on the star. So I will draw an S on the second little point on the star, and we talk a lot about style. I won't go into that today, but it's really about how do we communicate with each other. Are we being human to human? How do we communicate with each other, and how do we enrol other people? How do we influence? So we spend some time on that as well. The third area on the star that I would have shown you is a T. Now I'd just like to spend a bit of time on the T. The T is definitely about team, it's about your tribe, and it's also about what you transmit. And as Alistair talked about before, we've spent some time so far on what is the spirit of the team. And as people we know we have spirit, but how do we have a spirit as a team? And we know in sport we talk about team spirit all the time, but what does that actually mean? So far we've spent a fair bit of time redeveloping and recalibrating what does ethos mean for the club, and you'll see the product of that work up on the wall. But a big part of our role is to be invisible. And what I mean by that is we want to equip the people here to adopt and absorb the things that we're sharing with them so that they can take it themselves and actually use it and apply it, rather than us being someone from the outside. So it becomes a really inside thinking, feel, approach, where Alistair and the group can create a space for themselves to really discover their own strengths so they can build a winning team and a winning culture. We have the process called Same Page, and that's actually what we've been doing with the guys so far. We've had a few different events that have been held here, and the guys have been doing workshops and so on, and really participating. They are really absorbing, they're showing up, they're really using the time to do the reflection and apply themselves, and it's a credit to the work that they're doing. The fourth area is the A on the star, which is all about approach. I won't go into too much detail on that, but that's around how much of yourself that you give of yourself, particularly in a volunteering environment, and how do you keep yourself in balance. And the final area on our model is R. It's all about how perceptive we are, what our peripheral vision's like. When we're showing up, how do we affect the environment that we're in? And from a playing perspective, obviously, you know, when the guys are playing on the field, they have to take into account their peripheral vision, but as human beings and leaders, what are they transmitting? So I just wanted to say thank you for the space today to talk and share with you a little bit about the spirit of what we're doing. And you'll see us floating around, and it's just a privilege to be involved with the club. There's such a great feel here, and would love to get any feedback on our journey if you can feel things evolving and being different. And thank you for your time today. Please, thank you.